So first,
absolutely.
And I was like,
let's dig it all up.
Oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar.
Yes. And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is Also Podcast. We're here, we're back, we're better than ever. We're 30, we're flirty, we're thriving. Whatever you want to say. It's a good day, is it not? It's an okay day, actually. It's a fine day. Nothing spectacular, but it's fine. It's not bad.
But it's fine.
We're healthy and not so wealthy. Like, I'd like to be wealthy. Wealthy in the right ways, not in the rich ways,
wealth
you know?
in company right here with you.
I'd rather have money, but that's fine. That's fine.
Rude.
Have you ever, before we get into anything, did you ever watch Mary-Kate and Ashley growing up?
Absolutely.
Okay, do you remember? I don't even remember what sleepover it was from. You know how they used to do those sleepover videos? Yeah. But they did a song called Brother for Sale. Maybe it wasn't even a sleepover video.
No.
But, they did this song. It was Brother for Sale. And it went, I might sing it, but the lyrics were Brother for Sale, 25 cents. And so I would always sing that to my brother because I'd be like, that's what you're worth. And honestly, It made me think of that when I was like, I'd rather have money. 25 cents.
Rude. Did my company?
25 cents.
At least put some inflation on that, like $1.25 these days.
It's at least $50 now. Jesus. This was $19.99. 25 cents. Anyway,
God.
Okay, but that wasn't part of the episode. That was so unscripted.
It is a very important part.
Before we get into us talking about other things that aren't selling my brother for 25 cents, we have an Instagram, a TikTok, a YouTube, a Patreon. All the links are in our description. Please check that out. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. And I checked the reviews today and we didn't have any new ones. I did. Most of the time I don't check, but today I was like, you know what? I am going to check. And there was nothing.
I know. I'm sad because there was a while there where we would get one every episode. And now
I know.
It was our
Vanderpump. People really wanted to give us their thoughts on us covering Vanderpump Rules. Which, whatever, but anything. Leave a review. Just, it's not that hard. Maybe it is.
Comments, questions, concerns. We'll take it all.
This is karma because I don't leave a lot of reviews.
Ever since we roasted those two people who left us those bad reviews,
that was so funny, though. It was so good. Anyway, let's do small celebrations. Meredith, do you have something small to celebrate?
I just want to say that, TV has been epic for me in my life. I can't wait to talk this episode. I've been binging Love Island. I've been watching The Summer I Turned Pretty. I feel like I have a perfect mix of reality TV, random other things, TikToks popping off. I just feel like I'm at an entertainment peak in my life.
So I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, amazing. And you look fulfilled. Can I just say you're glowing right now, and it must be the entertainment you're inhaling.
It's either that or I did go to therapy today, so I got it off my chest.
Oh, maybe you're being healthy.
I have been working out. I've been consuming all the right things. I'm going to therapy. I'm yapping hard with my coworkers. I mean, I hate going to work, but at least I get a yap.
Yep.
So,
no, I love.
My apartment's clean. I am thriving.
Oh my gosh, I love.
You said 30, flirty, and thriving at the start of this, and I think I'm there.
Amazing.
Yeah. What about you? What are you thriving in? What are you celebrating?
Not much. My apartment's a mess. I do hate work. I have been working out a lot, so we got that. But ever since my therapist told me that I'm actually really mentally stable and don't need to come see her, I haven't been to therapy. So
that's okay, but not I think everybody needs to go to a therapist, but that doesn't mean you need to consistently go. So that means you're doing great.
I know, but that was the worst way to get broken up with because it was very much it's you're not
good.
Me, and in a good way. But I was like, Stephanie, I thought we were friends, and
you're was I should get to break up. I want to be I'm good.
She nicely told me we're really not friends, and I was like, no, but.
See, I was thinking about how walking away from my therapist, I was like, I need to remember she's not my friend.
I just thought Stephanie and it got to a point where Stephanie would be like, anything wrong in your life? And I'd be like, nope. should we chat about pop culture?
You're
And
like-
you'd be like, that's not, you're paying so much money for nothing.
You do a podcast about
You
this.
know
You
what?
don't need to also pay for this.
Stephanie is kind of my friend. I guess she's saving me money by not hanging out with me. It doesn't
What
matter.
a girl's girl. What a girl's girl.
It doesn't matter. I love you, Stephanie, wherever you are. I have her number. I could reach out if needed, but I won't. She said if I ever have a mental breakdown, let her know.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so I guess that's a win that I'm kind of mentally healthy. But I have a different small celebration. So last night, I fed into my addiction and I went to another New York Liberties game.
Love. Alicia, your segments are my favorite part of this podcast these days.
I mean, there's not much news from this, but I did
That's
go
okay.
see.
That's okay.
I want to shout out my friend Anna because she is a true girl's girl in the sense that, you know how you have some friends who like aren't into the same things as you, so you don't really ask them to do those things with you. But
Yes.
sometimes you're like, I just need a friend. Will you do this thing with me? And they're like, no, I'm not going to do that thing.
That's crazy
Anna's-
when people say that to me.
Anna's not like that. She doesn't know a lick about basketball. Every time the whistle blew, she went, what happened now? And I was like, but the fact that you paid for a ticket and came with me is amazing.
But want to also know. She's like asking
Yes.
so she can be in the loop. She's not just going to be like, boop, 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 like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just here, like scrolling on my phone. She wants to be involved as much as possible.
It was also hard though because it's very loud. So I'd be like, and by the time I'm explaining things, we've moved on to the next whistle. So I would get overwhelmed, and also I'm trying to watch. So
It's
I got
hard
overwhelmed.
With a live sports game rather than like the lore behind it, which you could tell the lore as the game's
Which
happening.
she knows the lore.
Oh.
That I've caught her up on. I think that's why she was there. But anyway, because Paige Beckers was playing, and I was like, listen to the lore of this woman.
Oh my God.
I'm obsessed, but she always is down to come with me, which I love. An absolute girl's girl. And she's a social media manager. So she was like, you know what you should do on social media for me? And I went, what? She goes, you should have a series where you explain basketball.
Love.
Then,
wait, the sport on how it's played?
Like how it works,
Okay.
what the whistles kind of mean. Because I don't know if you know this. I also reffed basketball for
I did too.
4 years in college and 2 years in high school. And in high school, they professionally fucking trained us. Like I had to go to a clinic.
I had to go to something.
Clinic.
Yeah, because I was a scorekeeper when I was even younger, and then I did reffing. I loved it. I loved basketball.
Reffing.
I hate reffing a third grade team, but like real people who know how to play.
No, the best is when you'd get like a kindergartner and you couldn't blow your whistle, but you'd be like, remember, dribble the ball.
You can't just walk with it. Pass it.
Jeez. And I'd look at the coach and be like, why am I doing your job?
I hate
like,
this.
What are we doing? But so I'm technically trained. And I can't explain this game very well. So she was like, just do it and tag me on TikTok. And I was like, okay. She really wants me to be famous on TikTok so she could be my manager. And I said, good luck to my 53 followers out there, but
easy.
So she's making me post. Well, she's not making me, but I did get a text last night that was like, if you don't post, I'll kill you. And I was like, all right.
I love it. Put the lore of basketball on your TikTok as well.
It's going to be the rules. I'm going to be like, this is
I know, but then once you get through the rules, you need to keep up with the lore. Like you can do this on your personal and on this podcast because
all I do is watch. Actually, I work out a lot while watching the games. It's been very good for me to watch these games because these women are insanely athletic.
Yeah. And I get very distracted when I'm watching sports, so I don't notice that I'm working out.
Yeah, as long as I see the exercise I need to do or like know in my head, I'll zone out all day and talk out loud and be like, that was crazy. But it is really motivating to watch them and then be like, I should get off the couch. So I have been working out and I plan to do it after this.
I do that with Kansas basketball, and it helps me with my like very anxious and stress about the game, like funneling it into doing something active. It is really nice.
I have to say, also another tip for anyone who might want to get into basketball. I have a friend who's a big Liberty fan. She's very stressed watching the games. I am more a fan of the certain players, which makes it a lot easier to be less stressed.
Yeah.
But it's really stressful when one of your players like gets injured or something, and then you like have a heart
It's
attack.
kind of like you have like a fantasy league where you're just like rooting for somebody all over and you've got your own little Alicia's team.
Yeah,
rather
do they
than
have
like
that? Let me on fantasy.
You can start that. This
Amazing.
is part of your thing. Like they have to have it. It's
thing.
not that hard to set up. Like the logistics, if they're already doing like men's basketball fantasy teams, like it's just about a company loading in the right players.
That's true. Damn, I'm gonna look into that. But yeah, I went. Shout out Anna for going with me, and shout out her for wanting to learn sports.
Love it.
Because I love it. Anyway, should we get into news?
Yes.
Do you have any news? I only have small news.
You do yours, and then I'll dive into the TikTok series I've been watching.
Oh my God, I can't wait. So in WNBA news, there's not a lot, but for the past few weeks now, there is this trend. Well, it's not a trend. It's something that's happening at games. A giant green dildo is being thrown onto courts across the country. And you'd think it was just the one time. So it happened at one game. A green dildo was thrown onto the court, and the game had to stop, obviously, and no one wanted to pick it up because we don't know where this has been.
Well, also, this is televised and heavily photographed, so, like, who's going to be that person?
Them covering it with towels was so funny because they didn't want to lay it and then get the outline, so they were just holding it, and the cameraman zooms in, so you see it anyway. It was amazing, whoever the cameraman was.
Stop.
And shout out to whatever channel it was on for not cutting away. But so that happened at one game, and you'd think like that's the end, but then it happened,
was like one incident.
I think it has happened at 5 different games at this point.
Like all across the country, you said.
Yeah, so last night alone, I was on full alert. I let Anna know. I was like, a green dildo may be thrown onto the court because there's no pattern. It happened like twice in Atlanta, but then it moved to like Indiana, and then it might have happened in San Francisco. I forget, but it moved around, and people were like, and it's not every game. So you're like, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. So I was on full watch, but I got back home and saw a TikTok. It happened in LA last night.
Oh,
the Sparks were playing the Indiana Fever, and the green dildo was thrown onto the court, and it hit Maga Barbie.
Amazing.
Hilarious. And then shout out Kelsey Plum for kicking it off the court and went like, let's just keep playing. But Maga Barbie was like, ew, like, ew, we have to time out. So that happened. And then
oh my God,
I saw a TikTok today that said there actually was a green dildo thrown in New York last night, but the person that threw it didn't hit the court. It hit other people below them in the stands.
No, don't involve the fans.
It almost hit a child. But what? It's like simultaneously disgusting and hilarious.
No, I love it. I don't.
What?
Unless it's been used, it's not that disgusting. It's just plastic, or it's just silicone.
I am curious though, like why is it this we're throwing on the court, and who started it? And now is it a group of people? Are they copycats?
Mine's like, is there a communication, like little group text that people are like, you know what, let's just cause some drama. Also, are these people now being banned? Like, what's the repercussions? Because facial recognition, like.
So I know at like 2 games it happened that they caught the person. But like in Chicago, I know it happened to them once and they did not catch the person. So I don't know. Because if I saw someone next to me, I don't know if I would pay that big attention. But if someone near me, you got to chuck that thing for it to hit the court. For it to hit a player, it hit Maga Barbie while she was playing. So ideally, you stand up and chuck that thing, right?
Yeah.
And if I see someone near me, like throw something, I would maybe clock that. But also, I don't know if I would pay that big attention.
Also, I'm loving this, so I don't think I would be like, they're over here. Like I think I didn't see anything.
I think I would more be like, is this a crew or?
Like, how do I sign up?
Did you just see it once and go, that I also want to do that?
It is. Are there copycats or are they all connected?
What's the point? Is there a point?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it gets thrown onto the court. There's a timeout, and then it's removed. So, are you sending a message? Is there something written on the dildo we're not looking at?
Well, are they doing it strategically for their team to get a timeout?
You know what? Honestly,
there's a lot of questions here.
We're just curious.
We're just journalists wanting to know what's going on with the green dildos.
So yeah, that is it's the weirdest thing. But it's actually like so funny. They're calling it like the green machine or the green monster, something like that. But I just call it the green dildo. Because on TikTok, you can't say dildo, I guess. But here's my thing. If you don't feel comfortable getting flagged for saying dildo, you're not old enough to talk about dildos.
Agreed.
So, like, just grow up. And if you flag a video for saying dildo,
Get off of TikTok. Come on.
Literally grow up. But yeah, so that's happening. I kind of wish it hit the court last night in New York.
Yeah, no, I would have wanted to be at a game where it happened. I want to be in the room where it happened.
The room where it happened. Yeah,
Wait,
so.
Speaking of that, really quickly, somehow I've gotten on TikTok a thread of the people.
I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say.
The like 20-year-old girls doing, what's the song from Hamilton? I don't even remember right now.
It's like Alexander, come back to sleep.
Yes, and he's like sneaking out to go to the duel, and they're like dressed in full cosplay of this man with like either good goatees and mustaches, or them drawn on and them sneaking out of windows. I'm loving this trend, but the minute you look at one, it's like a disease. I have 100 of them now.
I like that the girls are kind of trolling Hamilton for hating his wife. Because I saw Hamilton in 2018 for the first time, or 2017, I literally left and looked at my mom and was like, he's a shitty ass husband. This guy, fuck him. And even my dad's a history buff and he really likes Hamilton. And I'm always like, he's a fucking loser, that guy. That guy's a loser. Because he treats his wife terribly. So I get that that's the trend, but I have so many questions. My first one being, who did this first? And my second being, how did it catch on? I one day opened my For You page to thousands of these, and I went, did I miss? I was in a newsletter that got us here.
Saw one and was like, what is happening? I was like, is this a trend? So I clicked on the audio, and that is what infested. I know. And I was like, God damn it. So I scrolled through a few of them, and I've seen probably every single one since. My favorite is the girl who did it from her Ring camera on the balcony or like outside the back. And in the comments, somebody was like, oh my God, that'd be so funny if your neighbor saw you. And she goes, yeah, no, I did run into my neighbor, like climbing over the wall into the grass.
I want to know who went, we're all going to do this, and who else went, let me get my trousers out. Like, how did we get here? I missed something.
Because the first person who does it doesn't make it a trend. It's like the third person who's doing it, who's like, no, we're doing this now. And we are doing this. We can't even give credit to the right person because we don't know how this how this happened. I already like a lot of Hamilton shit on TikTok, so this was prime for me. And I was simultaneously upset and confused, but cracking up. Oh my God, right?
If anyone knows how we got here, can you let me know?
I'm just so thankful they're like crawling out of windows, because like that's what's doing it for me. Is them like turning back in and being like, go back to bed.
I love when they look so mad when they got caught. Like the minute the wife is like Alexander, and they're like,
like that's what does early morning out of town. Like
I like seeing them when their backs are like to the wife character and how they act there, because that to me is so funny. Because I think Hamilton's a fucking loser. They're
doing exactly what you expect him to do.
It was so good. Anyway, shout out all those girls. I don't know how we got here, but I'm supporting.
Me too.
I like them all.
Me too.
I like them all.
Great trends going on right now.
Do you want to go again, or you want me to do my final little piece?
You go again, because I'll go back to TikTok, and mine is a long story.
Okay. Mine's really quick. So we're just going to make this worse. You know, I think I sent you a video, but I'm going to talk about it. You know how last week I told you about my two hobbies coming together in one podcast, but it's terrible because it's Maga Barbie who got hit with a dildo. So funny.
Amazing. Karma, bitch. Karma.
And Wes Wilson, who is a performative liberal. Yeah, great. I found out from Dave Portnoy, of all people, on his shitty ass podcast, that they originally went to Barstool to be like, can we be on your platform? Which is insane because how Barstool is like the fucking worst. That is hell on earth. Is Barstool
It's
Sports.
weird as two people who are already cemented like figures and known creators, I'll say, to go to Barstool, because Barstool is great for people who want to become a creator. Like, they do take advantage of you, but they give you a platform.
Yeah,
so it's weird to go to them when you already have a platform.
Like when you're already established. I actually don't know who has their podcast.
I thought it was complex. I was shocked that he would be allowed to do something with another media brand.
Oh, that's true.
I just assumed, I guess, it was Complex Sports.
It's iHeart. Oh, it's iHeartRadio. Great. And the volume. I don't know what that is. But basically, Dave Portnoy, of all people, which I kind of wish this was on Barstool because I think more people would fucking hate it. But Dave Portnoy said no to the podcast because he was like, one of them's a professional athlete in her season right now, so she's not going to be able to do a lot of the legwork to like promote this thing. And B, he was just like, Wes didn't seem like the type of guy to like put the work in. So I said no.
He was basically saying like Barstool would pick up a lot of the work for marketing it, producing it, everything, with very little return for them because these are established creators, and the people they were negotiating with, Barstool was negotiating with, like the managers of Wes and what is her name? Sophie?
Maggie,
What is her name? Maga Barbie?
Maga Barbie? Yeah, Sophie Cunningham.
They were like negotiating with their managers, and Dave Portnoy doesn't like that, which is not great, but I understand what he's saying. He's like, they would want a lot more money for not doing a lot of the work, too.
That, which I get because they are already established, but then I'm also confused why they would go, like you said, to Barstool, because they could
I wonder if they just shopped it around. Like, they just like sent out basically a bid or kind of what they were doing to a bunch of different people, and
maybe I don't know how to promote it, and so they were like, Dave would do it. Or Dave's company would do it. So, whatever. Yeah. I don't know how. I mean, like I said, I kind of wish it happened so that all the shitty ass people would be on one network and I would know what to avoid. But
I saw someone say that Barstool TikTok pages are like cockroaches. Like, you block one and they just keep popping up. And I need to start blocking them because I don't want to see them.
All I get is fucking Barstool, or like the user 57812 that like copies Barstool, and then I get that, and I'm like, I block Dave Portnoy, leave me alone. But on the plus side, my girl AZ Fudd is coming out with a podcast. It comes out this week.
Yay!
Fudd around and find out. I don't know if it'll be good. Here's my thing. I think it's lovely, everyone making podcasts. I love it so much. I think AZ has a beautiful little voice I want to listen to, and I'm interested. However, I am interested in the lore. I'm interested in her life. How much of that is she going to give me?
Yeah. Is that what it's about? Is it like a personality, like kind of pop culture podcast, or is it an interview podcast? Like, did she say really at all?
It's kind of a mosh posh, honestly. When she was like, her intro was very much like, I'm AZ Fudd. On this podcast, you're going to learn a lot more about me, my family, like what it's like being a student athlete, like a national champion. I might even have some special guests, like that kind of thing.
Okay.
Which, great. But then it was like, Paige got interviewed and was asked, like, are you going to be on AZ's podcast? And Paige was like, I don't know, maybe, maybe not. But then she said, like, I know AZ has a great co-host, so I know the podcast will do great. I was like, who the fuck's the co-host? Are they
I'm glad she has a co-host, though. I bet it's just them being able to yap back and forth about her life more so and whatever's going on in general. But that makes me feel better if she has a co-host, because it's hard to anchor a podcast by yourself.
Well, if you're by yourself, I couldn't imagine. So I was like, is she going to then bring people in? Because then the stud buds during All-Star Weekend, never forget, were like, bring us on the podcast. And I was like, what is she going to do with the stud buds who barely know her name? Like, how are we going to get here? What are they going to talk about is my question.
That's what I think really is hard with podcasts.
Yeah, I think it'd be really fun if she, like, brought in her her family and told like her origin story and like gave us an inside look at her experience as a student, an athlete, like whatever, I think that'd be great. But also I could see that kind of getting old. I don't know. I have no idea what to expect.
Like, that is only so many episodes. I always think about ours, like, we're coming up on 6 years now, and it really started with us covering Vanderpump and then Summer House, and those are really easy to talk about because it's an episode happens, we talk about the episode, but this style of podcast, that the Also episodes, really only came about after so many years of doing it, and it was, like, what we did on our pre-shows, so we already had our structure. Like, I think finding the structure and the pillars of like what you want to talk about tends to be what like dooms a lot of podcasts, because people try to either do too much or they just don't know what to do. That I think we got very lucky that it just like naturally evolved for us.
That we spent about a year at work doing this exact thing, and then we spent about 3 years doing this exact thing before we would actually record a show.
This type of episode.
And then we were like, let's just also record us doing this. But I'm interested to also see who the co-host is, because imagine it's a stranger who's just like list of questions.
That's what's scary is like you gotta have good chemistry. Like, I think we have good chemistry because we were friends for 2.5 years before we ever started a podcast, and then like this type of chemistry evolved over years of podcasting too. Like, to be able to do this episode.
So
I always tell people podcasting isn't hard, but like it's
who you awkward. Do it with.
Like you like, it's easy for us to like this is our personality, but still you gotta, there's some work and like mental thought behind it.
Well, that you have to prepare, especially if you don't know if you have the natural chemistry with someone. Like you said, this was 2.5 years in the making, and then we still recorded about something, so it wasn't like we needed to prepare. But then when we started these episodes, we did have to prepare a little, and like figure out what hit and kind of what didn't. And so
what the groove
new.
was.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still going to listen. Don't get me wrong. And if Paige
absolutely.
I swear to God, if Paige shows up and they don't give us the timeline of their relationship, I'm going to freak the fuck out. I just need to know if my story in my head that I wrote down for book / Love and Basketball 2 is correct.
We got to get working on that screenplay. We got to be the first to get to it.
People are already, I bet, doing it. We should have done this. How good are you at writing? Because I'm terrible. I'm an ideas.
Listen, I think we just need to get an outline down and get a few chapters and send it to we got to start with a book, because then book to movie, book to TV show, you know?
Okay, I say one Sunday when we're not doing anything. We just
I'm dead serious about this.
I am too, because
no. We are going to start a new notes app and just throw some ideas in there and just get an outline going.
I just need help with the dialogue, because
we can do that.
Weird dialogue
we can
person.
do that, because I think we just need to create the full outline of where we want the story arc to go, and then we can start writing each chapter. I'm so serious about this, Alicia.
No, bet that I'm gonna do this as soon. Okay. I want to hang up now so I can just write I know how it's gonna go in my head. I have at least
log on, and it's like a 30-minute episode, and they're like, "What happened?" And it's like us ending right now.
Yeah, I gotta go. No, I have at least 2 full chapters.
You're way further than I thought you were.
I have a lot of it's like timeline, and then it's like there's one, you know how in every movie and book that's actually fucking good, there's a moment that you're like, that changes things.
Yeah.
I have that moment.
Okay.
Like, almost perfectly.
That's the inflection point. Yeah.
I see it. The rest of it is just like, and then I think they like maybe hang out here. Maybe. But that
like the ending, like where does it?
It's like, okay, they meet, and then they like
the
play
build
basketball, and then they like, I don't know, look at each other a little long. But then the thing happens that I'm like, oh, you know? And then after
in quarter 3, because we're doing it
it's
just
quarter
like
3.
Yeah.
We can write it like the quarters. We'd have to. Let me just, that's how I'll outline it. I'll be like Q1, Q2, Q3,
okay,
Q4.
Perfect. No, I'm dead serious about this.
You go in and add your notes, and we'll whenever we think of ideas, we'll bring it up, or we'll add it in, and we can see if it flows. Okay.
I'm so serious about this.
We will need to think of like cute little lines, you know, like little things that stick throughout.
That's what I think will be the hardest part. I think getting just
Yeah.
like the outline, the idea, and all of the like context down
Done.
is going to be easy. It's the dialogue and this, and like writing the descriptors of the scene. Yeah, we got this. We got this.
Need a line that's like, "I'll play you for your heart." It's got to hit. It's got to hit.
Yeah,
and I just don't.
But we need a new version of that, obviously. So okay,
well, yeah, we can't.
We're gonna workshop that.
It's gonna be so stupid. It's gonna be like.
I can't wait.
I'm so cringe, but I'm gonna do it because what else am I doing?
Here's the thing: the worst thing this happens is it's just our like fan fiction.
Never
lore.
seen in light.
Like we throw it on Patreon for people to enjoy, and that's it.
We put a Tumblr page.
It's just
no. Well, in sad news, I do have one more actual WNBA news.
Oh my god, what?
They're sad. No, it's okay. But a family was split up, and I think we need a moment. When Paige joined the Dallas Wings, okay? Back in April, May, I don't even know.
Yeah.
She joined, and you know how rookies, they always like find a vet that they kind of clean, like, you know, a rookie vet relationship. Paige's vet was named, or is named, she's still alive. It was named Dejanay Carrington.
I'm like, who died?
No one died. But her name is Dejanay Carrington. And then what was cool about Dejanay is her girlfriend, Melissa, was also on the team. And remember I kind of talked about them where they like had that foul that got them back together because she touched the waist. Could write it under Love and Basketball. But we'll start with one and see where we end up. But basically, they go through like half the season together. And then Melissa gets traded to Las Vegas. So she's out, which I also think I talked about. Because like Dejanay, we split up a family. Because technically Dejanay was like Paige's vet, but then like Melissa kind of became Paige's dad and Dejanay was Paige's mom. So the joke was like, oh, these are Paige's parents.
Yeah.
And then Melissa got traded and everyone was like, oh my god, Dejanay's a single mom.
Yeah.
That's so sad. And Dejanay was heartbroken. But then it came out like, I think literally a few days ago, Dejanay got traded to Minnesota.
No.
So she
Paige
left.
is an orphan now.
No, literally, people were like, Paige has no parents.
Oh my god.
It's so sad because they actually really like fed into the joke. Like at All-Star Weekend, they were taking videos of Paige and they're like, make mommy and daddy proud. And it was so funny.
I love that.
And then like, oh, it's so sad. And then Paige was interviewed yesterday before the game, like, you know, how's it going without Dejanay? Because that was kind of her main vet.
Yeah.
And then like also Melissa, and she's like, yeah, they were kind of like my adopted parents. Like, I know we'll always be close, but it kind of sucks that they're not here anymore. I know it's a business, but whatever. And then Dejanay like retweeted it and was like, our child for real. And I was like, oh my god. I can't believe the WNBA is splitting families up.
I mean,
it's like ice out here. No, I'm just that's a joke.
Well, I was about to say, like, this is how heartless our country is right now. Splitting up families all across.
I know. It's so sad. Although Dejanay, I think, is going to thrive outside of this Dallas team because this team's a mess. But
at least there's a benefit to it, but like the social lore of it is sad.
And then people were extra sad because Paige has these tearaway pants. It's such an ick when she does it. I'm so sorry to everyone on TikTok who's like, it's so hot when she rips her pants off. It's really not. It's so uncomfortable for everyone involved. But she would rip them off in front of Dejanay all the time just to like bug her. Mm-hmm. Dejanay would always be like, go away, like stop bothering me. And then yesterday at the game, she just unbuttoned them one by one. No. And people were like, damn, depression hits. And I was like, yo.
Paige in her depression era.
Anyway, I thought that was so funny. Sorry to Paige, who has no parents, but
yeah, we're thinking
hilarious.
of you.
Yeah, because I don't know who you hang out with now. You know, all your friends are gone.
Your bits, especially like the pant rip off. Like,
I know
you have no bits anymore. You got to start from scratch.
I know. The best is Melissa and Dejanay do a lot of TikToks of them cooking with each other, so you just know Paige is starving now. I know she has like a Wingstop deal and a DoorDash deal. But now she's not eating
no home cooked meals. Yeah, it's all delivery.
She can't cook it herself. No offense, she's white. I'm just going to assume it's not very good. It's not very flavorful, I would say. So we lost everything.
Oh well. My god.
Oh well. Okay, that's it for me. That's all the news I got. Do you have news?
Well, on that depressing note,
yeah, lighten it up.
Let's talk about the TikTok series. I think the girl's name is Karen, but it doesn't really matter. The girl who fell in love with her psychologist.
I saw people talking about this and I couldn't. I looked for all of 35 seconds to try and find the videos and I was like, couldn't find them. So I moved on. Tell me all about this.
Okay, I'm going to start with this disclaimer because we're going to put all jokes and all shitty comments in after this.
Oh.
I don't mean the intention is not to victim blame. The intention is not to, shame this woman. The psychologist really should have had way better professional boundaries. Like, it's like inappropriate on both sides, I will say though. So this girl had ADD or ADHD and sought a psychiatrist to get medication, which is what you go to.
Of course.
And so I've never seen a psychiatrist personally. So like, I don't know the standard norms, and I'm betting a lot of the people watching these have not either.
Mm-hmm.
So this woman had a therapist, had a psychologist, and she had a therapist and then went to the psychologist to get her medication. So she was seeing both. Her therapist retired. She gets a new one later on. So she is like seeking other medical help, but she starts seeing this guy. It's over Zoom, and she, gets on her medication. And at first, he's asking, again, I've never been to one, so I don't know the standard
Wait,
protocol,
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do we know the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist?
The psychiatrist typically works with the medication on helping mental health things, and so they are talking to you about, I believe, similar things as a therapist, but a therapist is working with you on behavioral things that you can do throughout your life, whereas you may be talking about the same issues, but they're trying to work out your medication and dosage to make sure it's working best for you.
So she's falling in love with her psychiatrist.
Medication. Oh wait. The psychiatrist, yes, sorry.
She's falling in love with the medication person.
The medication guy. So the medication person is a guy, and the therapist is a girl.
Great.
Like an older woman. And so she's seeing this guy, and he puts her on medication, and he's asking her clinical things how are you depressed, after being on this medication? How is your appetite, your bowel movement, how are you physically doing being on this medication? And so she'd been seeing him for 6 months. I guess what she said, and I'm just going to say this up front, I think she's an unreliable narrator. So I'm going to doubt some things she's saying and how things are going based on what she has said. Again, I've never seen one, so I don't know. But she said that, I guess you're only supposed to see him every 3 months, which that just doesn't make sense to me. If that's the way it's going on, that's crazy to me. If that's how you get diagnosed with medication and you don't see them for 3 months, I find that crazy. If that is what is is the standard protocol. But she was seeing this guy every single month, and she starts having feelings for him, and they get on their Zoom call at some point, and he was like, oh, your hair's curled. And she was like, oh my God, he is giving me compliments, but not. He's clearly wanting to point out things he likes about me. And I'm like, girly, he can point things out without flirting with you. So that's why I think she's an unreliable one. Cause when she tells certain incidents, I'm like, you're reading into some of those things too. He can compliment you, and I don't think that's weird personally. But maybe I'm crazy.
But him saying, hey, your hair is curled isn't really a compliment.
No. So she's always he's getting around it. It's inappropriate to compliment me. So he's getting around it. And I'm like, whoa.
If you look homeless 9 times out of 10 and then one day you curl your hair, of course someone's going to go, oh, your hair is curled.
And on that comment, she also says, and once I showed up, these are 2 different incidents, and I was wearing glasses. And he was like, oh, you're wearing glasses. And she was like, he noticed. And not only did he notice, she was like, oh, I have another pair. Gets up, goes to get the other pair. And he was like, oh, I much prefer tortoise glasses. I like the style of tortoise glasses. And she was like, he loved these glasses, so I keep wearing them in these videos, the TikTok videos, just in case he's watching.
Where is he? Don't tell me. But I looked it up really quick. How often can you see a psychiatrist? It depends on your individual needs and symptoms. However, it's common to start more frequently, as in weekly, what I would assume. So you can build the relationship so they know how to diagnose you.
So that's even crazier because she was going monthly.
Was he a real psychiatrist?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Again, she's giving it to us from her side.
So he prefers one pair of glasses, but he doesn't necessarily prefer her in glasses.
He says, I prefer tortoise lens.
This is giving, honestly, this is giving like when you have a crush on your best friend's older brother and he says hi to you, and then you look at your friend and you're like, I'm going to marry your older brother. And we've all done this type of delusion. Because let me tell you, I once had a personal trainer who we would just maybe flirt a little bit, and I would leave and be like, he's obsessed with me. But I wasn't seriously thinking he was obsessed with me. I was joking to be like, I like the attention, and I like that I, for an hour a week, go to flirt.
Absolutely. It's like, if he would say anything to her complimentary or like positive, she was like, see, she would always say like, he knows professional boundaries, so he's not crossing the line, but I know what he's doing. And I hate when people say like, I know what he was feeling inside. I know what he meant by that. Or like, she would throw a different tone on it, where I'm like, if you say those words without that tone, that's not weird. So it's hard for me not to question if she's just interpreting things in a way she shouldn't early on in these things. And then she said she was falling for this guy. So she tells her therapist that she really likes this guy she's seeing. And the therapist did nothing. So also very inappropriate of the therapist not to be like, you either need to stop seeing this guy or you need to have better boundaries.
Wait. So she sees him once a quarter, basically.
No, monthly for like 6 months.
She sees him once a month. She's met him 6 times. That's probably 6 hours?
Over Zoom.
6 hours over Zoom. And she's like, I'm in love with him because he prefers my tortoise glasses.
We're just getting started, by the way. But yes.
And then she tells her therapist, and her therapist is like, go off, girly.
The therapist eventually tells the patient to tell this, is it?
The psychiatrist?
God, I'm always going to mess these up. The psychiatrist about her sex life with the boyfriend the therapist has. And I was like, okay, again, I feel like I need context in that, because if you're having, like, your sex drive isn't there and, like, the medication could be messing with that. Yeah, that's an appropriate thing to tell these people.
Wait.
What?
Karen has a boyfriend?
Karen has a boyfriend at this point.
Okay, so the therapist is like, you should talk to the psychiatrist about your sex life with your boyfriend.
Yes. So the therapist is also not helping any of this.
Is she a real therapist? Are these people real?
I'm like, girly, you need to sort out some better medical help, first off. But anyways.
Okay.
So this stuff is happening. Karen does tell the psychiatrist about her sex life. And she doesn't say what really happens, but like, she was like, he loved it. Again, you can't say that he loved it. She didn't say anything about her sex drive. She just said she talked about her sex life. So I'm like, so much context is missing from this story that I'm like, it's hard for me to know if you're telling your doctors things that you shouldn't be saying, or you should be saying, or if it's weird or not weird. It's just a lot of like, he loved it. And I'm like, I don't believe you. But anyways.
Question. Have you ever talked to your therapist about your sex life? Because I haven't.
I haven't, because it's not a problem I've needed to discuss. But if I was having intimacy issues with a partner, I think I would probably bring it up.
Oh, okay. But we don't know if she was having issues. She could have just said, I have great sex every night with this guy.
Like, she doesn't say what she says. So it's really hard to determine if, like, she's being weird too. But so, like, they're having these discussions, and she begs the psychiatrist to have appointments weekly because she's so obsessed with him. She wants to see him more regularly. She recognizes that she had a crush and an obsession with him. And I'm like, that's where you need to also have a boundary and walk away from this guy. And so
do we have her age?
No.
Okay.
But she says the psychiatrist and her are about the same age. So, like, this isn't like
it's
weird
not a
relationship.
22-year-old. Yeah.
No. I think she would be around our age or a little bit older. And so
I'm looking up how many years of school do you need to be a
He finally is like, yeah, fine, we can have weekly appointments. And she later is like, he had no professional boundaries. And I'm like, the boundaries aren't just on him. I agree. He should have stopped like having her as a patient. He should have like phased her into a different doctor. But like, you as a patient should show up and have some professionalism as well. Like, you shouldn't do this stuff to medical professionals as well. Like, some of the things she was saying.
Yeah.
So
it also takes 12 years of schooling, it says, to be, or like, you need an undergraduate, you go to medical school for 4 years, and then you have to do 4 years of residency to become a certified psychiatrist. So he's at least like 32.
Yes. I think she said he had 12 years of professional experience, which I'm guessing includes the like residency. So he's late 30s at this point.
Holy. Okay. So she's
now seeing him weekly. She's in fully obsessed. The therapist is also not helping her and like egging things on.
That therapist is messy. She was in an entertainment black hole. She had nothing. And she was like, finally, something.
The therapist also has inappropriate other boundaries with her by asking for help with other clients, because the client, Karen, helps people with ADHD like herself and like setting up her life, which I'm like, I don't know what that means. But so like the therapist is asking for help. Karen tells the psychiatrist about that, and he's like, that's in an inappropriate relationship. And she was like, oh, so he really does know inappropriate, not inappropriate like relationships with patients. And she's like, see, he knew things to do it by the book and to have boundaries. He knew how to walk right up to the line and then cut it off. And I was like, having a boundary shouldn't be used against you, because there was one time where she brought something up and he was like, that's inappropriate, we're not discussing this. And she started emailing him out like a bunch of times outside of sessions, so he stopped responding to her and would respond to her in their sessions only. And so he would like read all the emails and then come to the appointment and they would discuss it in the appointment. And she was like, see, he didn't want a written trail. And it's like, no, he doesn't want you to monopolize his time and have you feed into the rest of his time. Again, it depends on what they're talking about too. Like, he can be inappropriate as well, but him setting boundaries with his time doesn't mean he's trying to avoid a paper trail with you.
Okay. I'm just processing. Okay.
They have been seeing each other, or like professionally seeing each other for like a year and a half. And Karen and that boyfriend had broken up.
Cut her off?
No, that's where he should have. He should have. That's why I put that at the beginning. That is his biggest fault, is he needed to transfer her as a patient long before. But she is definitely reading into things. Like, she turned off the comments because so many people were like, babe, that's not inappropriate for him to comment on your glasses. So then Karen is seeing him for like a year and a half, and she had broken up with her original boyfriend. She starts seeing this new guy who happens to be a therapist who tells her that he is obsessed with one of his patients. And she was like, oh my God, this is insane. Da da da. And then she starts
Wait. She's dating a new guy who is a therapist who is obsessed with one of his patients.
His clients.
The same way she is obsessed with her psychiatrist.
Correct.
Why are they dating each other? Like, shouldn't
I think this was casual. Like, they were going on a few dates, not like boyfriend, girlfriend, serious.
I don't know.
But
if I went on a date with a guy and he was like, I'm so obsessed with either my therapist or my client, I would be like, what am I doing here?
He literally said he had to jack off before this girl's appointments because he was like obsessed with her. Yes, I was like, why are you seeing this boy? And also, this should be red flags to you too. But anyways, so she tells the psychiatrist, like, it
can't happen.
Tells the psychiatrist about this, and he's like, oh wow, that's like really interesting. She also starts
what's his name so I can maybe report him to the police.
He was like, that's inappropriate. And she was like, see, he knows how to just like
oh my God. Okay.
He knows that things are inappropriate. And she goes, he is such a smart predator. He knows that things are inappropriate. So he keeps things by the book. And it's like, that doesn't mean he's into you.
A smart predator is insane. I'm gagged.
So then she starts she stops seeing the therapist because she recognizes that the therapist is not good for her and is feeding her obsession with the psychiatrist.
That therapist is messy. I could never have a therapist like that, but I want that therapist as my friend.
Correct.
Because she would tell me the tea.
So then Karen starts new therapy with ChatGPT and names the thread Henry.
She's like Craig Conover. Because he do therapy on Chat?
Probably. So she takes the emails and gives the some dialogue of what Karen and the psychiatrist converse about and feed it to ChatGPT to get its opinion on her love for the psychiatrist. And the ChatGPT tells her back, like, hey, it is really easy to fall in love with mental health professionals because they provide you a lot of safety, and so it is a common thing to fall in love with them because you're given so much safety and this like safe environment to grow, and so you really enjoy the space you feel with them. And so there's a protocol of when people do fall in love, like you are supposed to transfer the client to someone else and or talk through the feelings about how it's not either like the trauma response of like why they feel so attached to you, and or like talk through the feelings so they can come out of the feelings and like put them on a person in their life and like try to find that feeling somewhere else. And so there is a protocol, and this is where the psychiatrist does not follow it soon. The psychiatrist does not know, I don't think at this point. I think he knows that she has like crushes or is into him, but it doesn't, the way she said it, it doesn't seem so serious where she was like, I'm in love with you. So I don't think, again, he should have transferred it anyways, but I don't think he realized how deep this was.
I don't think so either, because she's like, please, 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 can we meet weekly? He's probably like, oh, she's really going through it. I guess.
Yeah. Also, it is a business. Mental health is a business. So like, you're not going to turn a patient away who wants to pay you and fill up your schedule.
I feel like if my client was also like, oh, I'm dating someone else, I'd be like, oh, they're not that, they couldn't be that obsessed with me. They're dating someone else, right?
I guess. I don't know, because she doesn't give us this context. So then she's chatting with ChatGPT, and ChatGPT tells her, Henry tells her that there's this thing called transference where you put these feelings onto your, that's the official term. And so she goes to her psychiatrist and tells him about that. And he's like,
wait, about transference or about her being in love with?
About transference and how she, has these feelings for him, and she learned what transference is. And he was like, did ChatGPT tell you about I think it's called a counter transference or something? And she was like, no. And she's like, see, he knew what he was doing. He slipped up in that moment. So she goes and she ChatGPTs what is like counter transference.
Did he not explain it to her?
No.
So he was like, do you know about counter and
the way she said it was like no. He was scared. Like he was scared. And so what it is it's where the therapist, like the professional, has feelings back too. And like does engage with that, because when somebody falls in love with you, I think it can happen both ways, because it is like a safe space and you're having all this dialogue. Like there's a lot of feelings involved in like mental health work. And so again, the protocol
that's a red flag.
Well, I think it's easy for it to happen, but there's a protocol for what happens when you have it, or like when it develops. And so like, again, you transfer the patient out. And so,
but wait, it's weird that she was like, do you know about transference? And he's like, yeah, do you know about, was it the second
counter
thing?
transference?
And she goes, no. And he goes, okay, look it up. That's weird that he wasn't like,
I agree.
The fact that he brought this up, that's also weird.
That's where I'm like, he got weirder as it got on, and I believe her more in the later half. But early on, I'm like, girl, you read into a lot of these things early on.
Here's truly, I'm trying not to blame him, because I think at the end of the day, right, as what you've told me so far, he sounds kind of like more the victim. However, she sounds so mentally unstable that I can't blame her for anything. But she's also living in a delusion.
I'm wondering if he thinks she's in a delusion and is trying to sort her meds out. Like, I just am questioning, like, what
meds is he giving her? Holy shit, we
if
didn't
he
even think about
wasn't
it.
doing anything inappropriate, I'm so curious what his thoughts were.
I don't like that he brought up counter-transference.
I don't either.
Okay, keep going.
So then she ChatGPTs it, and within an hour of the session...
She's gonna fall in love with Henry next. Jesus
Hold on.
Christ.
Within the hour of the, session, she emails it back to him. Again, he does not reply to her emails. So she just has that record of, sending it, and she puts it on screen of, what ChatGPT said. And she was like, see? Ha! I knew it. I knew he had feelings for me. And I'm like, that also isn't a confirmation. I agree,
well,
it's weird.
Just inappropriate, but
okay. that isn't confirmation that he's also in love with you. I think he's also being weird.
It's a weird crumb to leave. I'll give you that.
Alicia, she's always like, he's breadcrumbing me all the time.
Listen
to this. He would smirk at me. He would, and again, most of these sessions are via Zoom. And she finally finds out that he does in person. So she's like, we're doing in person. And he's like, if you really want to, but I would like to stay on Zoom. And so she goes in person. Every once in a while, she'll go in person. And then this is the best. This is my favorite part. Oh wait, hold on. Let me tell you this.
I'm so stressed. Okay.
In another appointment, she was talking about, or she came and after the chappy, I think it might have been before the counter transference or whatever it's called was mentioned, but she had told the psychiatrist that she was talking to ChatGPT for a therapist, and he was like, and that she named it Henry, and he was like, what happens if you fall in love with a boy named Henry? And she's like, oh, I would rename my ChatGPT. And he was like, oh, okay. And she was like, see, he's so invested in who I'm dating and what's going on. So then
I think it's more concern. If you tell me you're going to ChatGPT for therapy, I would be like, my concern is that. That's the concern.
I believe this may not be a part of the fact, but I swear she said it was a full moon and she was ovulating. And
oh my God, I'm going to kill myself. Okay.
And she has a vivid dream about her and the psychiatrist having sex in his office on his desk. And she's like, she wakes up and she's like, I can't believe he would cross his boundaries like that. And it's like, that was in your mind. That didn't happen.
Okay.
So she goes to her next appointment and tells him, and she goes, he looked scared. And I was like, yeah, if you were openly talking about you guys having sex in his office, I would be scared too, whether I'm doing something inappropriate or not. And she was like, it just seemed like he finally was caught and he was terrified. And so that's basically where we're at in the story.
Has she not released the full story?
No, we're 16 parts in, and a lot of the times she had to turn off comments, and she's constantly like, you guys are being so rude to me. There's so many mental professionals in my DMs talking about how a lot of the things I was doing was inappropriate. And she's like, I've taken quite a bit of responsibility. You guys don't hear it on this session. I'm just trying to talk through this because I started this series because I went on TikTok and searched what happens when you fall in love with your psychiatrist, and there wasn't anything. So I knew I had to tell my story. And she's like, there's so many people in my DMs saying this happened to me too, and which I believe it happened.
I believe you
falling in love.
Yeah,
but
yeah. It's you said, it's hard not to. It's hard not to fall in love with, especially if you're with a mental health professional for a long time. It's hard not, as I just joked, I was like, Stephanie and I are friends. It was hard not to sometimes think of her as a friend because we were in a safe space and we were discussing things. However, I'm not that mentally ill. I would be like, I know, but it does happen. It is very, especially
early on in the series, she's like, he was such a good listener. He really weaponized his neutrality on just listening to me. And it's that's his job.
That's his job. But again, I see, especially if it's someone you're attracted to, unfortunately for Stephanie, I wasn't into her. But if it was a hot, attractive,
a good-looking guy my age,
listened to me and heard me and was checking in, I could see where it's oh, we fell into this for sure. But this is, so I understand it happens to other people, and she's also going out there being like, this happened to me. However, really Pop at least lie to make him seem like a little guilty about this.
His guilt is that he didn't transfer her as a
Yes.
patient and stop working with her for sure.
Yeah.
Because of how she tells the story, it's really hard to see. Later on, he has more red flags because I do think because he wasn't transferring her, it is concerning when she says, like, I have feelings for you, I'm in love with you.
And he still doesn't transfer her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, you're now opening up inappropriate conversations, whether you mean to or not, or have interest or not. But my biggest thing with her, and she's like, it takes two to have feelings. Babe,
no, it doesn't.
Him sitting there and listening to you, you would catch feelings anyways. Like, it's weird to me that she's like, we did this together.
Also, girl, haven't you heard of unrequited love? That's literally a thing everyone goes. Everyone has had feelings for someone who has not felt the same way back. It does not take two to have feelings. It literally only takes. That's why you have to ask, do you also have feelings for me?
Yes. Like, I'm concerned for her. And she's like, everybody's saying I'm having a mental breakdown. And it's like, I believe that she understands what happened more so now, but I worry that she doesn't understand, or like I worry for future mental health professionals she seeks out, for her to not have appropriate boundaries on her own side with them.
See, and that's why I think it's hard for me to like, I think she's obviously at fault, but it's hard for me to be like, this is all her fault because she's
it's not
so
all
mentally. It's almost like she's a 12-year-old. Like, you can't blame a 12-year-old because they're not fully developed. Like,
and the validation that she was seeking through the psychiatrist, like, she's getting from TikTok now. Like, she's getting the attention that she was craving so bad now through this. I'm like, I don't think you see the problem that will still stay on your side of the fence. He had his own issues, for sure, but you also need to address some of those things.
Yeah, and someone, if she has any friends or family, need to, like, get her committed, honestly, because this is not, again, I don't think it's fully her fault. I think she's living in a fantasy world. I think she's living in a delusion. I don't think she's well, it sounds like. So I think, like, we can't fully blame her, but, like, this man for not cutting her off. And, like, the one crumb I caught where he's like, do you know what this is? That's weird.
That was crazy.
The minute I don't like
because
that, like.
He knew, even if he wasn't having an inappropriate relationship with her where he was, like, in love with her. He knew this was a bad.
He's talked to her enough. He knows
he knew this was a bad situation, even if he wasn't in love with her. He knew this was not good.
My therapist caught on to my patterns after meeting with her twice, okay? She was like, I catch you doing this all the time. He knew what that would do to her. And also, for having boundaries, he also didn't have enough boundaries to be like, we are not doing in person.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Alicia, she was his patient for like 2.5 years.
No.
So, like, that's where it's on him.
This is why I don't trust men, honestly, but also like this girly pop needs help. Will you keep me updated on what happens with her? Amazing. Oh my god,
she was live earlier, which is how I got into it, because somebody screen recorded it.
Ooh.
And she's like fighting because like people can't comment to her now on her actual videos, but they can comment in the live. She's like, I'm not crazy.
Y'all, you can't, if we've learned anything from this country and this political climate we're in, you cannot argue with crazy. Just stop commenting on her fully. Just leave her to an empty lie.
That's the thing. I don't want to victim blame her and like put this shame and blame on her, but I do fear that she doesn't know how to read and interpret situations, and that's where I like
socially she's
have
not
to
there.
Put that lens of there were things that she
did. She is an adult though. She needs to like it's a hard situation, but this is crazy. Can she get arrested for this? Like, why aren't we calling the police?
She actually accidentally slipped his name once, and I really do think it was an accident because she was really good about like catching herself.
Mm-hmm.
People found him, and part of the reason she turned off comments was because people started putting photos of him in her comments, and I was like, that's
but I do think this person was a little inappropriate for not cutting off.
No, but it's like traumatizing to her to see his photo. Like, that's mean to do to her.
That's true.
But yeah, people were putting his full name, and so that's why she turned comments off. Like, she didn't love the mean comments, but she like referenced them and kept them going until he got doxxed, basically, because she was like, I was trying so hard, but like that video is already 3 days old. Like there's no point in taking it down now.
Yeah.
So she was like, I don't want him to lose his job. I just have to tell my story so like people who have also gone through this have support, which like I do love that. I just fear for her not addressing her own issues.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
so
giving,
I'll let you know where it ends.
It's giving Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
That's what people have been calling it. It's a little bit more erratic and not as great storytelling.
Yeah.
Whereas Risa Tisa, like 10-minute episodes, full, like came with screenshots, gave details. Like
finished
there aren't
up
enough details.
Quickly. Like over 3 days we were done with this.
Oh, this has been going on for like a week because she like will drop 2 or 3 episodes a day.
I don't like that it's unfinished. Like just
me too.
I know your story is going to be at least 12 hours long, but just wrap it up, you know, post them all at the same time, get your 15 minutes.
That's the thing. Do like 5 in your car.
If you're going live, you have time to just release the next part of the story.
Good point.
Just do that instead. So I won't give her the views because I'm upset at how she's dragging this out. But you let me know next episode.
I'll tell you next week. Yeah, we're hopefully it's wrapped up by then.
Oh my god! If it's not, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. Oh,
so that's
amazing.
My news.
That was awesome news. I was sad. I'm gonna go tell everyone about it because I don't know if they know. Anyway, okay, should we get to reading?
Yes.
Okay, I finished that terrible book that the rom-com. Okay, remember we were talking about that rom-com that you also read where it was like the friend and then like the best friend's fiance's best friend.
Yep.
And then I didn't like the pregnancy trope at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
So then the
second one with the girl who got married or was about to get married, the one with the playlist.
Fiance died. Yeah. And then this was the playlist. I gave it 3 stars. It was called, I don't know, but basically it's so bad. The Happily Ever After Playlist.
I hate that name.
It's crazy that it was called that because the only reason it would be called that is every chapter had a different song title.
That's it?
They didn't make a playlist or anything. He's a musician. But these weren't any of his songs. It was like a Paramore song.
I feel like a big gesture should have been like during whatever the conflict is him making a playlist or them falling in love over like him making her playlist. That's what I would assume it would be about.
Yeah, no, there was no playlist.
That's so stupid. That pisses me off, actually.
So basically, this woman is driving her car to go see her dead fiance's grave on his birthday or something. Okay. And then a dog jumps into her sunroof. Crazy, right? Who would have seen that coming? So this dog, she's like, it's a lost dog. I gotta like find the owner. So she calls the owner a bunch of times and the owner's not getting back. So she's like, all right, find her as keepers because she ends up really liking the dog. And then the owner calls back and is like, oh, I didn't actually get my dog because I'm on tour. I'm a famous musician. He just said I'm on tour because he didn't want to tell her who he was. Yeah. Right? And she was like, okay, well, I'll keep your dog till you get back from Australia. So then he comes back.
Who was watching his dog beforehand?
His crazy ex.
Okay.
I don't know. She also had mental issues. Anyway, so basically they meet. They both immediately are like, wow, attractive. I have fallen in love. So then they're like, oh, we have to co-parent this dog now. So I guess we have to see each other all the time. Oh, so then,
oh my God.
Then they hang out more. I don't know. They fall in love and out of love like 12 different times. But basically, she finds out who he is, like what his. Yeah. He had never, all his music videos before were like claymation, which is so weird. So she had never seen him, but when she like learns who he is, she's like, oh my God, you're like very famous. And then she's like, I just lost my fiance like 2 years ago. And like, I for 2 years was basically living in a shrine of him. I can't now like have you go on tour and me wait for you to come home and you like, have to do all these things that don't align with my life. Like I have to live for me. I can't live for you. But he's like, but we're in love. And her best friend, who I hate from the first book, was like, if you're in love, who cares about you? Just date him. And I was like,
No.
God.
She's finally like getting over her dead fiance, moving his shit out. It's her me time. You can kind of like a boy and have a crush still, but like we don't need to date and be serious. Because she also doesn't need to have like an absent love again, where like he's out and about and she's just sitting at home pining for someone who isn't there, whether they're dead or on tour.
I was rooting for this girl because I was like, she is going to choose herself. She kind of does both.
Of course not.
So, of course, he's like, come on tour with me. They go through a few different issues, but he's like, come on tour with me. And she's like, okay. So they go on tour and she's miserable, Meredith. She's like, I hate being on tour. She's a painter. She can't paint. She's always like out late. She's like basically living his life.
He's
thriving, but then he sees how much she's struggling and he's like, look, I want you to go back to our life. I don't understand why she can't just like maybe fly out for a few shows and then go back to her life. I don't know why they have to be together, but he finally is like, go. And his parents live in Minnesota and he's like, there's like a lot of seclusion out there. Go do your paintings like out in the beautiful nature. I don't know. I've paid for your ticket. Go live with my family. But then the family and this girl do the thing where then they send you a bunch of updates of like how great their life is and how much they miss you and wish you were there, but you're not there. So then you're like, now he's depresso mode because he's like,
man, he's like, I want to be with you, but I have this commitment.
He already wanted to be with her, but now she's also like, I'm with your mom, I'm with your dad. And he's like, damn, this sucks. And I know that feeling because my mom fucking does that to me all the time where she's like, we just had the best day. Wish you could have made it. And I'm like, damn, don't tell me when I should have FOMO.
I'm missing out. Yeah,
don't come at me. So he then starts to like struggle a little bit. But then we cut to her and she's like, I'm actually not that happy because I miss him a lot. And I wish I was like almost back on tour with him because I should have just like loved being with him. And then she starts thinking like, okay, I'm going to get myself in a healthy mindset and then be able to go on tour with him and be able to keep up my healthy mindset. Like I'll find ways to be able to work out and I'll find ways to be able to paint and like, I'll figure it out, you know? Like, so she's like, I'm going to get healthy again and I'm going to like,
go into the tour again, but in a better place, and I'll know what doesn't work for me this time.
Yeah. So basically, she then is like, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm gonna go. So she flies out to go see him. She lands at like 1 a.m. This was after a very hard day for him. So he drank a few, took a sleeping pill, and fell asleep. So he's knocked out. He drank his bourbon, he took some melatonin, and now he's out for the count.
He's done.
He's out for the count, right? So she's knocking on his door and he like won't answer. And she's like, what the fuck? So then his whole tour, they all have conjoining hotel rooms. I don't know how that works.
That doesn't exist, but okay.
But this girl who he had been photographed with in the past, like an ex or whatever, who was supposed to watch his dog, who's also mentally unstable. She ends up answering the door in like her pajamas, and she's like,
they're probably in like a suite in a sense, and like he has a room, she has a room.
Probably.
Okay.
So they're like, what? Or this woman's like, what? And then the girl is like,
looks like they're
can't
together.
Believe this is happening, whatever. So then she tries to wake him up, but he's knocked out and she sees the alcohol and she's like, oh my God, I can't believe he got drunk and cheated on me. And I was like, this is jumping to conclusions. And I was like, for someone who's like 26, I guess, but like, come on, grow up. So she leaves. She's like, I can't do this anymore. And keep in mind, his quote unquote ex was also like drunk. She has drug and alcohol issues. So she's like also out of it. But then the next day, he like, I forget how he finds out she was like around or she was I don't know. But he's there. He's basically like, he finds out that this ex answered the door and he's like, how could you fucking do that? Blah, blah, blah. So they're like looking for this girl. They can't find her. Oh my God, what happened to her? I don't know. But the best part was though, he woke up and he's like, wow, that really knocked me out. That sleeping pill. Like no idea. Anyway.
And it's like, hey, your whole life is a disaster now.
Yeah. So anyway, then he's like enraged. And then someone on his tour who's friends with his ex was basically like, she didn't fucking do anything. Like, she answered the door because you wouldn't answer the door. Like, we were all trying to fucking sleep. This crazy bitch that we didn't know was your girlfriend is trying to break into our room.
Did they not meet her the first time?
They did. The ex was just like drunk and high, so she like didn't care.
They like weren't hanging out.
Yeah, and the other girl like didn't get up, so she's like, I didn't even know that was your girlfriend. I thought it was some fucking crazy groupie that just showed up. So she's like, that didn't happen. And she was like, and also your ex is like fucking going through it, dude. Her manager stole all her money. Like, she's on drug and alcohol problems. Like, they starve her at the label so that she's skinny and hot. Like, she's a mess. And now she's locked herself in the bathroom. So they break down the door and she has tried to kill herself. But it didn't work because he saves her. Hip, hip, hooray.
Good.
But then he realized they're like, the producers at our label do a lot of shitty ass things. They're going to do shitty ass things to your girlfriend, which like they had in the past. The little like, he thought the ex was fucking with his girlfriend, but really it was the label trying to break them up because it's not good for his image.
And like, you need an artist to be single so then people pine after them.
Yeah. So he like recognizes that. He's like, oh my God, I have to break up with her because I don't want her in this
keep her
mess.
Safe. Yeah.
Yeah. So then
I love a classic. I have to break up with you to keep you safe.
I liked that. This was the part I was like, oh, I'm into it now. Yeah. Right? So then he comes back, or she comes back. And he's like, what are you doing here? We've been looking for you. And she's like, I drove all the way to California and then I drove back because I knew that you couldn't have cheated on me.
Where are they?
Vegas, maybe.
Okay.
She's like, I knew you couldn't have cheated on me, so I came back to have you explain. And he plays it off like he did cheat on her so that she will leave, right? And I was like, damn, that's cold.
No.
And then he's photographed taking his ex to rehab.
Oh. I'm just going to say this. If somebody ever does that to me, I don't care if you lied to me for my own good. That type of lie is so fucked up.
It's crazy. So then he blocks her on everything and is basically like, but he's depresso mode, right? He's depressed. So she goes back to her life and she's kind of thriving, but she like obviously misses him and she's like struggling with that. And then he's in town for a show and his like manager emails or gives her 2 front row tickets. And so she's like, and like the manager wrote this whole thing like he lied. You need to know, like, he didn't cheat on you. Kind of gives her the background. So she's confused. And she's like, what do I do? And her best friend's like, should we go in disguise? So they wear disguises. And then, of course, he, like, sees her in the crowd. And they, like...
Even in her disguise, he notices her?
Can you believe in her disguise he got her? And so then they end up pregnant and on tour together. So that's great. Yeah, of course.
Fuck.
Everyone in these books ends up so pregnant. Like, stop getting pregnant. Why can't you just fall in love? Anyway, that was the book.
Can we work on declining the birth rate also in literature?
Yeah, what the fuck? Why are we always fucking pregnant? Whatever. It was, like I said, 3 stars. But now I'm reading this book called The Poppy War. So I'll let you know how it goes. It's kind of giving Divergent, where everyone needs you take a test to decide if you're like what level of almost like
in like society
class, society you enter. So this really like low class war orphan from a while ago, she is the highest ranking test taker, and so she is now in the military school that's super prestigious. But everyone there is hella racist, so they're like, you're never gonna fucking make it. But it's like Divergent, where some people have been fighting their whole lives, or almost more the Hunger Games. It's more the Hunger Games, where some people have been training for this their whole lives, and then fucking Katniss shows up, and and just like takes it by storm. But she hasn't taken it by storm yet. She actually just got kicked out of class. So,
okay.
And the instructor was pretty racist.
If you really like that, I may have you keep that one a little bit more of a secret because that sounds interesting. I love Divergent.
Yeah. It's more Hunger Games. I should have said where it's the different classes, but the military part seems more Divergent.
Yeah, like test taking and
Did you read The Good Girl's Guide to Murder?
I started it, but the problem is with this whole Sheena book thing I've been dealing with, I just haven't had time to read a book because listening to a book has drained my soul.
I get it.
But I did start the first 2 chapters, and I do find it interesting. I am excited. I need to get, and I actually really need to read it because I have not been able to put myself to bed at a normal time.
Oh,
So I need like a wind down thing. So I really need to just get back to reading. Like that will.
You'll really like it. And it's not too scary where you'll like stay up at night.
Yeah. It definitely is like lighthearted and like, also I didn't know she was in high school.
Yes.
Just imagining she was like in college.
I said it's going to be a little YA, but like it is.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it good, because then high schoolers do dumb things and you give them kind of a pass because you're like,
and it like won't be scary because like she's in high school.
The second and third kind of get a little scary. Like I was sitting there going, this is Criminal Minds. Like I was like, this is crazy. The first one, not at all. It's very lighthearted and it gets a little weird because you're like, that's insane. But no. The second and specifically the third, I was like, holy shit, I am scared.
Okay.
For this 18-year-old.
I promise I will get this done by the next time we record. Because I do want to talk about it.
I'm not concerned. Okay, should we get to watching?
Yes.
Can we talk about The Summer I Turned Pretty?
I'm so happy you want to talk about this, Alicia.
Why is everyone Team Jeremiah on social?
Did you read the books?
I read the first one and I hated it so much I refused to read the second one.
I read the books.
But you told me what happened.
Oh, yeah. So, like, I think people who read the books are overwhelmingly Team Conrad because while all the shitty stuff is happening with Jeremiah, like, you don't get a visual. I think people are visually obsessed with Jeremiah and then, like give him passes.
With that guy?
I know. I don't understand it.
Okay.
But, like, I think that's what it is. But can we please talk about the brothers trope? It's so fucking weird because I've been thinking about this a lot, more so with the brother, or I almost said the brother I turned pretty, the summer I turned pretty, because in the books, she specifically does not sleep with Jeremiah, and I think that is a very harsh line, and I can't tell, they don't specifically say she's had sex with Jeremiah, but they kind of allude to it. I find it so weird if you sleep with both. I understand if you have a crush on both, especially growing up, maybe you like kiss them like lightly, no like tongue really, like as you're growing up. I can understand how that happens. Sure. But the minute you date one and sleep with one, a la Conrad, you can't go to the other one. I find her hooking up with Jeremiah and dating him weird.
That's weird. You know, a creator actually put it in perspective for me because in the Vampire Diaries, if you remember, Elena sleeps with both Damon and Stefan as well, which was weird. However, in the Vampire Diaries, people were like, somehow that was less weird because at the end of the day, the first and most important thing was the brotherhood. Like even when Damon had taken Elena, his priority was to make sure Stefan was okay. Right? There was always this unspoken love within the brothers, no matter how many times they killed each other or hated each other. This was like Conrad. Okay.
It eased in and started differently than like Summer I Turned Pretty, because there was also, and this isn't a full pass in my mind of it not being weird, but there was a supernatural factor with like Elena being like having that bond with Damon whenever she turned, all of that stuff. Like it was just like an easier easement into them being obsessed with each other, because Damon also saw her first and they were obsessed with Catherine. Like there were more layers where this was a little less weird.
I think
but like in like 3 months time of Conrad and Belly breaking up at prom to the end of summer, it's not even the end of summer, it's the end of June. It's like a month and a half later, her and Jeremiah are kissing. That's weird to me for Jeremiah to do to his brother.
But like I said, in the Vampire Diaries, there was always this like understanding that the brotherhood would stand. Whereas in The Summer I Turned Pretty,
they hate each other.
Yeah, they don't like each other, which I think is blamed on both. Listen, I hate everyone in this show. I want to make that so clear. I'm team bomb explodes and kills everyone. So
I'm team Conrad leaves and has a happy life alone.
No, kill him too. Kill them all. Because as an older sibling, I understand Conrad being like so upset that like Belly is dating his brother. That's weird for sure. But he was the one that broke up with Belly. And it is weird that your brother does that. But then it seems like so far Jeremiah has tried to kind of have a relationship with Conrad.
Yeah.
And I understand Conrad putting up these boundaries with Jeremiah. However, he is putting boundaries up around everything opposed to just being like, we cannot talk about Belly, but I'll help you out with Dad, and I'll help you out with this, right? And it's also hard because they lost their mom
completely. Yeah, that is weird. Or I understand why he has to do it, because but like he doesn't want to be at the summer house because like Belly and Jeremiah in front of him is a lot. Like I agree. He should still call Jeremiah on the side and be able to like return his calls. Well, especially when they're writing like the dedication for their mom's like garden or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's Jeremiah literally being like, I miss Mom, and Conrad being like, me too, I gotta hang up. Like, you can just tell that, like, and I understand his boundaries, but I think Conrad's being, like, a shitty brother. Do I think Jeremiah was also kind of a shitty brother for getting with Belly after? Yes, but I think Conrad broke up with it. It was just, it's a fucking mess, of course. Agreed. And then you lose the thing that brought them together, which was their mother. So now there's nothing holding them to brotherhood. And
because so Laurel really isn't in this season. So, like, we don't even have, no, but what I'm saying is we have no parent, like, bringing the kids together. Like nobody in this is really brought together.
Their dad sucks.
That's just the structure of this book too. Like there isn't an adult figure that's like, they're not all spending the summer at the summer house for like the first time too. But what I will say that bothers me though, in what you just said about the brotherhood not being together, is in season 2, in the flashbacks, we see like Jeremiah be upset if like Belly and Conrad are like kissing or at Thanksgiving. Like he was like, you should have told me if she was going to be here. And Conrad was like, you knew she was going to be here.
I don't like that either. Yeah.
And he said like, well, I don't want it like this, like you guys together. But Jeremiah doesn't try to like hold back on his relationship with Belly in front of Conrad's eyes, how he wanted it when Conrad was with her. Yeah. Jeremiah wants to do whatever he wants to do whenever he wants to do it. He has no care in the world for Conrad. So I understand Conrad not wanting to talk to him.
Yes. Yeah. See, like I understand both sides. And I think that's what angers me. We're like, at the end of the day, if my sister is falling in love with the same guy I also really like, and she gets him, I immediately back out, because the first and most important thing to me is that my sister is happy.
Agreed. Like, that's true. Neither of them are putting the brotherhood or like...
And it's bugging the shit out of me, because like that just means you don't really like your brother, which that sucks. Whereas even when Damon in the Vampire Diaries took Elena, Stefan was still, he was like, give me my time. And then he was able to go back and be like, this is a really important relationship for me. I'm still going to be here for you. And they were able to agree that they did shitty things to each other, and they can still be like at the end of the day, it ended with them going, the whole series ended with them saying, hey brother, or whatever. And like coming together. That was the real love story of the Vampire Diaries, was the brotherhood.
I think the biggest thing with the brother trope require the connection between siblings. And time and a little bit of distance, because Elena and Damon and Stefan were broken up because of like his whole Ripper stuff. So like I understand like while there were still feelings there, like there was some space in between. And then what I thought about while thinking about this brother trope was One Tree Hill, because you had so many people hooking up with brothers in that. Like you had both Karen and Deb hooking up with both of the Scott, like the adults. Brothers. And then between Nathan and Lucas, like everybody but Haley basically hooked up with both, but there was distance. There was distance between, and they didn't grow up together, so it's not like the true brotherhood bond whenever Peyton got together with both of them or was interested in them.
At least the younger, I'd have to think about. The older Scott brothers, that was a really complicated relationship that I would need to analyze a lot more. But the younger ones, they both still, even when Lucas started liking Peyton, he still made sure to like reach out to Nate. Like he still made sure that was.
I agree.
Some sort of relationship.
I think there was time in between the true Peyton Lucas stuff.
Of course.
So much distance from Nathan. So I think, again, it's like the summer I turned pretty, that month and a half is fucking so insane. Wild. I never thought about the siblinghood of it. That's a really good point.
And so I also am going to say this. The dad obviously sucks. He's the worst for not, as a parent, he should look at his two sons and be like, this is not how the relationship's going to go. Like, we're squashing this. Number 2, and this really upset me because my favorite parts of seasons 1 and 2 were the moms. I fucking hate Laurel. I fucking hate her. Let me tell you why. As a parent, she sucks. Here's the thing. when Belly and Jeremiah say we're engaged and they show their little pebble.
Wait, what do you mean show? There was nothing to see there.
They show the little pebble, right? Everyone is shocked and a little irate. Totally understand. Great.
Yeah.
Let's go home. However, the fact that Laurel will not discuss this with her daughter bugs the shit out of me. And when Jeremiah comes over and is actually kind of an adult and is like, we want to do this, and like sits down and talks about it, he sounds crazy, don't get me wrong. But Laurel again avoids it. As a parent, you can't just avoid it. They are going to do what they want to do. That sucks. But you can deter it. You can deter it.
If they were 16, have this attitude. Yeah. But they're like 21, 22. Like, they are fully fledged adults. And you got to let them have their terrible decisions.
But I think what you can do, that's the thing, is she's basically like, and I think this is a shitty thing to do to your daughter, to be like, I'm not going to show up to your wedding. Instead, she could be like, let's have a real and honest conversation, because when you get married, that means you're not on my dime anymore. So have you thought about how you're going to pay for your last semester of college? Have you thought about you and Jeremiah are going to go back to college? Are you going to live together? Are you going to live separately? How's that going to work? And where's Jeremiah going to get the money for his frat dues and his last semester of college? How's that going to work? And then let's also discuss health insurance isn't going to happen because that is another
You're an adult.
Thing. How are you going to pay for the wedding? You know, have you thought about that? And then also you could just look at your kid, because Laurel has yet to ask the one major question, which is why do you have to get married right now? If you want to, honestly, if you want to be engaged for however fucking long you want. But why do you have to get married right now? What is kind of the purpose of that? And if they
truly digging into that, because they said like, well, we love each other and we want to be together forever. And Laurel was like, well, you can do that later. Yeah. Like, you can be together without getting married. It's like, okay, but what's the driving factor of why you're doing this? Because the minute they all find out that Jeremiah cheated, like, I just truly think Belly's putting it out of her mind and is like, I just want to hold on to Jeremiah. But I think the minute though they all find out is like when it'll crumble in Belly's own mind. Like, let's talk about him cheating then.
It's just kind of like, ask why. And when they say like, well, we love each other, we want to be together forever, and be like, but you can be together forever and you can get married once you actually get established. What is it right now this year? It has to happen.
What's the trigger?
And I feel like they both would say something like, well, Susanna died. Life is short. We have to take advantage. And then Laurel can be like, okay, I'm understanding I understand the mindset you maybe happen, but like, let's be so clear. There's a lot of things that come with marriage, such as like finances and like where you're going to live. And like, you can't come home once you're married, like you're on your own. So like, let's discuss this. Why does it need to happen now? Like, why can't, what is the point? You know, like, have you thought, do the pros outweigh the cons? Instead, she's like, I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm not going to your fucking wedding.
She's like ghosting, which that happens in the book. So, because I know where the storyline's about to go because of how the book's written. But Belly never goes home. Belly goes straight to the summer house in the book. So I think Laurel dragging Belly home made it a weird dynamic, because if they're not living together, it's a little less weird that Laurel's like not talking to her about it. Yeah. So I wish like Belly never got dragged home, and I wish Belly just was always at the summer house, because I agree, it is making it really awkward.
Making me hate Laurel, because then it's also like Belly tries multiple times to sit down with her parents and be like, let's discuss this. I want you to come dress shopping with me. And her mom has every right to be like, I'm not going to go dress shopping with you. But her mom is failing to be like, look, I'm going to love you no matter what, but I cannot support this decision.
It feels like
she's throwing a temper tantrum. Like, that's what it feels like.
Well, it feels like if Jeremiah and Belly actually get married, there's going to be 3 people in, like, the audience, and that Laurel's never going to speak to them again, so they both lose, like, their moms within a year, basically. Like, is that what we're doing? I know that's not what is going to happen, but
Laurel's just driving, like, a huge wedge in between her and her daughter, and she has a right to feel how she feels, but she's not doing it in a way that like a mother should.
Is productive.
That does, and she loves her kids. She really does. So like, the fact that she's doing this is kind of out of character, right?
I agree.
And then I agree with like Conrad, right? He had a right to look at his brother and be like, this is ridiculous. That's fair. But I do think at the end of the day, like, again, they're adults. What's Conrad gonna do? So he has to be like on board with the wedding, right? But he could also be like, why do you guys, no one's asking, why does this need to happen right now? Everyone's just like, it's a bad idea.
And you know what?
Okay.
I don't think they ever ask it in the book. They like, it slowly comes out, the cheating, obviously, but.
Is it because Jeremiah cheated? Is it because Stephen got in a car accident? Like, what is the reason?
Because they did the time jump, they had to apply a little bit more pressure to the cheating situation. So they added in the car crash and the whole you only live once. Like we saw Susanna die, Stephen almost died. So it's we have to get married right now. It's like that. But it really is based on Jeremiah cheating in the book. It's like Jeremiah cheats and he's like, I promise I won't do it. Like nothing will happen. It's a lot weirder in the book, I would say, how the cheating kind of happens. It's
she like similar, prove but it, so marry me?
Well, yeah, his like apology his apology and it coming out leads to him proposing basically pretty immediately. And so she says yes because she forgives him under the condition that like they're getting married. But then it's like weird because they don't say that to anybody. So it's way weirder to the families.
That someone needs to just ask like, why now? And like lay out the rules of marriage, right? Like you're no longer my dependent. So you're off my health insurance. I'm not going to pay for your college. Like, why can't you just wait till you're fucking graduated is like my main question that no one seems to ask. Everyone's like, I'm going to be maid of honor, best man, no worries. Also, if I don't get some Taylor and Steven, I'm going to kill someone. That was the best part of season 2. What are we doing?
I know.
What are we doing?
You know what I hate is the Laurel and what's his name? The dad. I'm like,
I don't care.
Why are we revisiting this marriage?
I don't care.
Where did this was not in the book, which I understand adding things that weren't in the books, but like, why are we revisiting something when Laurel really does not like that man?
No, she's mean to him too, which is fine. That's her ex, but like,
she was never like Belly and Conrad talk about this. Like her mom and dad did not have this like an amazing fireworks relationship. They're not obsessed with each other where they can get divorced and come back from it. Like, why are we trying to pretend like this is a thing?
I also think Laurel had a really good monologue to her ex where he was like, you regret marrying me. And she was like, no, I regret doing anything that young because I didn't know. That. That's what she should have fucking said to Belly. Instead, she like, oh my God, what are we doing?
Can I tell you my highlights of the season though?
I hope it's the same character that I have. What?
Oh, it's Conrad. I'm obsessed with Conrad's little wardrobe and his little jeans and
he's so
and his
cute.
Belt and his slutty little wristwatch.
His slutty little wristwatch.
That when I tell
so
people
slutty.
I want a man who kind of dresses like a Republican but votes liberal, this is what I
mean.
It's
Conrad.
I
want a doctor who dresses like this. Yeah.
Who like wears some Sperry's and like is like a little worn in their like preppy clothes, like they've had them their whole life.
But you know Conrad's a liberal for sure.
I'm a little nervous about what he is, but I think he would learn and grow.
I can tell you, I believe the actor.
Yes. Oh, the actor, Chris. Yeah, is because that's their beef with Jeremiah. The actor
Gavin. He's not. But you know who I love is Conrad's friend Agnes of Unrequited Love. Because we are all her. Everyone wants to be Belly, but no. I am Agnes, always and forever. I have a crush on the hot guy with the slutty wristwatch. That he's in love with his brother's fiance, and when
they had that convo, I was like, she asked him to see if he's like, you know, where he's at feelings wise of like other things. And when she's like, wait a minute, your brother's girlfriend is who you've been in love with. And he was like, that was my girlfriend first. I was like, oh,
I loved it though, because you know, that was the moment that she was like, I can't be in love with this guy. He's too messy. And
that's the thing.
Oh, I loved when she sat down with him and was like, I don't know anything about unrequited love. And then like basically told him like, I did, but now I'm dating someone else. So I sucked it up and now I'm your friend. So here we are.
But I like it because it was like in a crush stage where she was just like, I kind of like this guy so they can be friends. It's not like very honest
and it was really cute. And like, I love Agnes. I love her so much.
I want them all together
actually. I want Conrad and Agnes. They don't have to date, but I would just want to see them do everything together. She gets a job.
I know. I'm on the team of like Conrad skips off to California, leaves all these people behind, only talks to Laurel, and like lives his life out there.
Him and Agnes get a friend group together and they go camping and stuff.
Love.
Yeah, like I said, I don't need them together, but I think like maybe they could become dog walkers together or something weird.
Neighbors.
Like, man, they could decorate each other's houses weirdly. Like they could go antiquing. That's what
they
I
could
want.
Go on
for
double
Agnes.
dates. It's like Agnes and her boyfriend are trying to set Conrad up with a good girl that's not his brother's girlfriend.
Conrad can date Agnes's boy's sister, and then
Love.
they're like related. That's cute. Anyway,
yeah.
The Summer I Turned Pretty 4. We're gonna write it. I'll get the notes. It's just Conrad camping and going antiquing with Agnes in a platonic way.
It's getting brutal to watch. Did you watch this week's episode?
When did it come out?
Wednesday.
No.
It's Conrad's voiceover one, and it was not everything I wanted it to be. I'm like super disappointed. They said it was going to be 90 minutes. It wasn't. Like,
I can't watch this guy pine for 90. It hurts. It's not in the cute way. It's in like a this is weird way.
Okay, it was kind of creepy.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I didn't like how they filmed it. I heard Jenny Han might have directed this one, and I don't like the vision.
Here's the thing. Here's your thing. I understand she was your girlfriend first, but now your brother is banging her. You have to bow out, my guy. There's no hope. I know in the end he probably ends up with Belly, but to then be like, I want his sloppy seconds who are going to be my
Why are you
sloppy
sandwiching
thirds?
your brother?
What are we doing? The minute your brother starts dating your ex, that's shitty, and that's when you go, she's forever tainted.
She's not for me. If she will date my brother, she's not for me.
Can we talk about Belly? Stop dating brothers. Stop.
Okay. Someone
online
said no matter who she marries, her body count is going to be at the end of the aisle. Like, her full body count is at the end of that aisle, no matter who she marries.
Is it weird to think, like, do they have sex the same? It's weird. It's all weird. I have a friend, actually, I'm not going to say her name, but she made out with two brothers. And she said they kiss the same.
Similarly?
Yeah,
that
but
I guess that means it's like, it's nature versus nurture a little bit.
There was one brother who she said was a little better, but she was like shocked at how similar they were.
See, I would do that for science.
Because she dated one, right? She dated one for years.
Kissed one.
And then she made out with another years later. And she was like, so she remembered the first because she dated him.
Yeah.
And then she was like, holy shit, they kind of kiss the same. And I was like, yeah.
It's weirder to go that way in my mind. Like, I think the minute you've had sex with one of them, you cannot interact with another.
It's weird. It's
weird.
Listen, it's up there with sisters who bathe together and parents who kiss kids on the lips. It's weird. Stop doing weird shit with families. There's a line.
Yeah, and I agree.
If your sibling has sex with someone, you can never have sex with that person. I don't make the rules, but that's the rule.
I feel like that is a basic rule to follow.
It's like incest at that point. You know how you would kiss someone in college and then they would kiss like one of your friends and you'd be like,
I never did that because I even found that weird. I hated that.
Okay, I have drunkenly done it. Where
I understand how it happens, but I'm just saying I found it weird when people found joy in that.
Oh, no, but you would jokingly be like, we've basically kissed, you know, like, haha, imagine that being your sister. And you're just like,
we basically had sex.
It's incest. It's incest. At the end of the day, that's what this is. We're watching a show about incest.
You're so right.
And we're all obsessed with it.
I'm slowly becoming not obsessed. I need it to be over, but I know we have like another month and a half.
Can I just say, though, the songs they play are either so terribly mainstream that you're like, why is Sabrina Carpenter playing while Belly is showering? Or it's so good.
Yeah.
You're sitting there and it's like a 2000s hit that just comes out of nowhere and you're like, yo, this
what was the song from One Tree Hill that was
what
from
I'm talking about?
The national championship, and people were like, these teens don't even understand the latent history of this.
No. Because when I tell you, I heard that song and went,
I was like, where's the confetti?
I didn't see it on social media first. It's called Heartbeats. And for those of you who are too young to know, in One Tree Hill, there's a love triangle between Lucas, Brooke, and Peyton, and Brooke and Peyton are best friends. No siblings. The brother is somewhere else, but Brooke and Peyton are best friends, and Lucas has dated both. But in this scene, it's a famous love triangle. Brooke goes up to Lucas and is basically like, I know who you want to be with. Go be with her. And basically gives her blessing of her ex to date her best friend. And then this song is playing when they walk up to each other and she goes, nice hands. And he goes, nice legs. And then
it's a big thing for them.
But they wasted this song on not a cute moment. Instead, they're just in the car. And I was like, no.
No.
You need
the
full triangle. If Conrad was in the back of that car, then that's okay. But
well, I was like, it needs to be a moment, not just them driving.
But
this has so much significance in rom-com shows, and you just throw it in a passive scene.
Listen, nothing will ever beat the music of One Tree Hill. Whoever scored that show is a genius. I'll still hear songs and be like, this song was in One Tree Hill. It is that good.
I know.
It is that good. That was the music moment that my jaw hit the floor and I went, I know the song.
Yeah, but it just took me to One Tree Hill. Like,
It did.
I won't fully remember their scene. I will only see confetti, going down on that basketball court.
I immediately went, nice hands, nice legs. Like, I was geeking.
And it's you. You're the one I want next to me.
Oh my God, at the end of the day, you're the one I want next to me. Went,
yeah.
It was so cute. And then Haley gets hit by a car.
While pregnant.
And then Lucas has a heart attack.
Spoilers.
They don't make teen dramas like they used to, man.
Well, they also built it up over seasons, like his heart condition. You don't have time. We have 10 episode seasons now, and we're just rushing through things. Like, this is going by way too fast. We're not building the story up. Yeah,
even Steven's car crash wasn't that dramatic.
That's why I don't
He
think that's landing for the pressure of them getting married, because it was 15 minutes of a hour-long show.
Coma, maybe. Yeah, he was barely dead, that guy. Okay? We need his heart to flatline. That's the drama. Then I'd be like, I get why Belly and Jeremiah want to get married. People are out here dying.
They're also really bad at telling us days, times. It's really hard for me to understand how long things have been, because we're not building things up. So the next morning I was like, how long has it been? Where's Laurel and the dad? Of course they're banging in a hotel, but how many hours has it been where they're out of contact? Are we worried about them now?
How many hours did they bang for? It just seems like a long time.
How many rounds did they go while their son almost died?
How are they sleeping that soundly? Okay, how many rounds did we do? I do have one more question. What is up with Steven's coworker that he's always flirting with?
That was not a part of the book.
What is happening?
More happens in this week's episode. Okay, that also wasn't in the book.
She's a terrible mom, too. She's drunk or something.
I'm liking their dynamic. I think what's hard is we're just weaving in and out of random-ass stories that I'm not loving it. Because in this week's episode, because it's narrated by Conrad, not many other people are, in it. It's really, Belly and Conrad at the summer house. There is a little bit of other people, but
it's just for 2 seasons, Taylor doesn't have a mom, and now Taylor does have a mom, and she's losing her business. I don't care.
I like seeing Taylor and in those moments.
I do too.
But it is weird to just drop this in. I felt the same about the cousin last year. It's we never heard about the aunt and the cousin, and then these two are just dropped in out of nowhere.
Yes, but that made more sense because they were here to steal the summer house, which was important.
Whereas Taylor's mom has nothing.
Her business means nothing to me.
Yes, the coworker I get, because it's pinging a love triangle for Steven's heart. He's gonna clearly move on with the coworker.
Sure, but we don't need it. You didn't need that.
No, they can just be broken up and not be together, and there can be natural conflict without another person involved.
Well, I think also he can have a banter with this coworker and it not be flirty.
It's going flirty this week.
Kind of flirty. I was I don't love. And then, as far as Taylor's mom's business, I don't know why we're watching her lose the business. We should have just had her immediately, it's lost. And then Taylor picks up the pieces. I don't care about it. Maybe Taylor's trying to fix it.
Yeah.
So she doesn't lose
I understand
it.
needing a conflict because it's why she stayed and didn't go to New York. And we obviously need her to not be in New York. But
Wait, I out loud screamed. I went, first we have the girl who doesn't go to Paris, and now we have the girl that doesn't go to New York. And it angers me because any girl who grew up in the 2000s will always go to Paris. It does not matter. It does not matter. I will always go to Paris. I could be broke after, I could be dead after, but I will go to Paris because that is what I learned from the hills. Because I don't want to be known as the girl who didn't go to Paris. That's what I would be known as.
My thing is, because like, she broke up with I think his name's Jason.
Yep,
after spending that summer. I mean, it was all fake, but it doesn't really matter because they broke up anyways.
Paris. That was real.
Paris, no, it wasn't.
It was real.
But what I feel like I learned from that situation growing up watching that is like, if your relationship can't survive you going to Paris for a little bit, he's not meant for you.
He's not the one for you. Always go to Paris. Because then what did we see the next season? Lauren went to Paris.
Yep. And she got to ride on that guy's moped. And at the time of her life.
Yeah, she was with that guy. He was smoking a ton of cigs. And we loved every second of it. But I can't believe Belly's not going to go to Paris. I'm so upset. I bet she ends up going or whatever. She probably chooses herself. I don't fucking care. But Taylor, go to New York. I'm so upset at her mom for making her not making her, but like putting her in a situation where she feels like she cannot go to New York.
File for bankruptcy and get a new job and like move on.
Also, why did she call a child to be like, can you look at the numbers, Steven? I know it was to get him to call Taylor, but then it turned into something it did not need to be. It turned weird.
It's weird that, because they didn't date for that. I guess they did because there was a time jump. It seems like they broke up right before she went to college. Maybe they did spend. But I'm like, why is the mom so close with Steven?
Why is the mom calling? Why? Anyway, I'm not really watching much else. I mean, the occasional show, but this really had to hit a lot of our time.
I'm glad we both like are decently involved.
Yeah. Are you listening to anything?
Just Sheena's goddamn book all week.
Yeah. You're out of commission.
Yeah, if anybody doesn't follow us on socials, this is the time.
Jesus. I am listening to a podcast I would just like to plug. Ooh. It's from Sue Bird, who's a famous basketball player, but she is interviewing a bunch of people in the league, and it's really interesting to hear like a lot of their backgrounds. And she she's a professional.
It's like their origin stories, right?
Yeah, she goes through their whole origin story, which has been a lot of fun to listen to. I've only listened to 5 episodes so far.
Who's been your favorite?
Ooh, I mean, I really like Sabrina Ionescu, and I think here's the thing I really love, because these basketball players aren't, their job is to play a sport. It's not to talk for a living. So some of them you can just tell are like not as excited to be there, and I'm like, it's kind of painful. Like, I listened to one, her name is Jackie Young, and you could just tell Jackie did not want to fucking be there. But she was like, she's just naturally like quiet. Yeah. So like Sue would ask a question like, tell me about this time in your career. And Jackie would just be like, yeah, it was like crazy. And be like,
you got to expand on that a little bit more, babe.
But I mean, Sabrina Ionescu is really good. She plays on the Liberty. And then Sue has played with some people. Like she played with this lady named Jewel Lloyd. So they had like a really fun banter. Mm-hmm. It's always fun when like Sue knows them, so they can like really. But also my girl Kate Martin, she was a really good interview.
Oh, that's such a good one to have. It was fun. How long has this podcast been going? Is it like there's a lot of episodes out? Or is it new?
It's only been going on since May 16th. But she has another podcast she does with her girlfriend, wife, Megan Rapinoe.
Yep.
And they also interview professional athletes, mostly women. So she does that as well. But this is really like an in-depth one-on-one conversation through your life. But it's really good. Even if you're even if you just like know one basketball player, you're like, I'll just listen to their thing.
Yeah.
Sue asks really good questions. She's really meant to be in the public eye.
In media,
and she's getting a statue soon, so.
Ooh.
I know. She's going to get a statue. She also, at the game last night at her Seattle, she went to the Seattle game because that's where she played for her whole career. She did the Coldplay thing where she was with, Megan was at her chair, and they were like, God. Here's Megan, and then they were like, and here's Sue. Oh, Sue's missing from her seat. And then Sue was caught with the mascot. And then they both ducked. God. But then it was extra funny because it cut back to Megan, and Megan put on this whole like, are you fucking kidding me? Because Megan's so funny too, and she was like crying, and then it cuts back to Sue, who's cracking up. Like, it was a lot of fun. But I love the Coldplay trend, too. I'm sad
Me
that's
too.
over. I'm sad it's over.
Too.
Thank you for bringing it back, Sue. That was awesome. Anyway, I think that's it. Oh, and now I'm listening to One Tree Hill playlists.
Love. It really sparked something for you.
Oh, I miss that show. I was thinking, like, I need a show like that again.
Me too.
Like, I want to call you and go, they're playing A Drop in the Ocean while they're on the phone together. That's what I
know.
want.
I get that.
Anyway, but yeah, I think that's it. Great episode.
Yeah.
Do all the things I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast. And with that, love ya.
Thanks for joining. Bye.